out of the X-Mansion to save the kids while the explosion is happening in slow motion. So here, since we are assuming that the explosion took place in the middle of the mansion, let's just say this whole area with J-Law, Beastie Boy, and the third wheel over here is part of the center. Doing this won't make the outcome super exact, but it will tell us the slowest Quicksilver had to be running. So he runs in to save Mystique, and zips outside and comes back to Moira all in just 0.733 seconds. Since this is under Quicksilver's perception of time though, in reality it only took him 0.03 milliseconds. With the measurements of the walls we set up earlier, keeping in mind we haven't even taken into account the distance he traveled from the safe zone where he placed Mystique, then Quicksilver traveled well above 84.4 meters in 0.03 milliseconds. Over 8,202 times the speed of sound. And reminding you, that's the slowest he had to be running. If you take into account the distance he ran from the safe area where he placed Mystique and Beast to Moira, then this would be a much higher number. Now before I give you the number 1 on this list, I thought it'd be cool to list some honorable mentions who either didn't quite make the cut, or they were just too ridiculous that I wasn't sure if they were meant to be taken seriously. General Zod. Dude, that's pretty fast and reminds me of my uncle, but I couldn't really find a clip of him moving in a measurable length. The 90s Flash I never watched. Accelerated Man. Nothing really to comment on him because we've barely even seen him at all. Brandon Routh's Superman. He saved people from a Gatling gun, but he was technically part of another Superman's canon who's on this list, so I wasn't sure if I should have included him or not. This obscure girl from Smallville. That one Supergirl from that old movie, probably. I don't know, I never watched it. Jennifer Garner's Elektra. Yeah, she was pretty fast. She moves around people in an instant. She couldn't have teleported because Elektra don't do that. But yeah, the filmmakers probably didn't think this one through. James Franco's New Goblin. He outran Peter's line of sight in just a second. Again, not sure if what he did was just a cliche transition to the next scene, or if he actually outran Peter's line of sight. Green Lantern. He looks pretty fast, but I'd have to watch the film again in order to scale him on this list. And you know I love this channel, but there's a point where you just gotta draw some lines. Number 1, Christopher Reeve's Superman. The most iconic portrayal of Superman is the one that finishes this list off. When Reeve's Superman was so angered at the earthquake that killed Lois Lane, he angrily spun the Earth the other way around to reverse time. The circumference of the Earth is about 24,901 miles. It took him a while to accelerate to his top speed, but when he finally reached it, it took him about 0.2 seconds to travel around the world. That would mean Christopher Reeve's Superman had to be moving well over Mach 584,173, almost 70% the speed of light. You could also argue that this one counts as a ridiculous candidate and should have been thrown into the honorable mentions category. But oh well, sucks to suck down it. So to recap, Feora, The Rival, Ezra Miller's The Flash, Wally West, Jesse Quick, Trajectory, Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver, Jay Garrick, Zoom, CBS Supergirl, CBS Superman, CW Flash, Reverse Flash, Black Flash, Tom Welling's Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman, Savitar, Bart Allen, Evan Peters' Quicksilver, and Christopher Reeve's Superman. Also sprinkled these guys here and there around the list. Anyways, everybody, that was the top 20 live-action speedsters ranked. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you honestly really did, then please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, consider following the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. And for more of my videos, just click right here. I've heard a lot of people say Hulk 2003 versus the Incredible Hulk from the Avengers, but I think I should wait until Thor Ragnarok comes out before I start that video. Gubs, can you do Hulk versus Hulk, please? Hey, Gubs, you should do 2003 Hulk versus 2017. Come on, Gubs, Daddy. Hulk versus Hulk versus 2008 versus Hulk 2012. How thick is Thicksilver? The Incredible Hulk is most notably known as the physically strongest Avenger out there. And in the past 40 years, we've had about 3 live-action adaptations of the Green Puffle. You had Lou Ferrigno's, Eric Bana's, and Edward Norton's and Mark Ruffalo's. Now you may be wondering why I said 3 adaptations, even though I only stated 4 names. That's because Edward Norton's Hulk and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk are technically the same person. The 2008 Incredible Hulk movie took place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's referenced to quite a bit in the 2012 Avengers film.
I didn't see an end, so I put a bullet in my mouth, and the other guy spit it out. Thanks, but the last time I was in New York, I kind of broke Harlem.
Meaning that these two are the same character. I mean, they don't even look that different. And look at them. If you squint one eye and squint the other eye, There you go, they're like twinning right now. Plus, the old Grandpa Ross dude from 9 years ago came back to play the same guy in Civil War. So, all their abilities are being combined into one Hulk. For today, we're going to be comparing the green CGI Brock Lesnar to the Marvel Studios leaf-colored gorilla. A heads up as always, this video is not meant to argue who was the better actor, or which was the better film, but rather which incarnation would murder which Hulk in a fight. Yeah, you've gotten to that side of YouTube. This isn't Screw Attack, pal. I don't get paid to do animations. Spoilers for every Marvel movie ever, including Thor Ragnarok. To measure each Hulk's pros and cons, we're gonna break down each of their strength, speed, intellect, endurance, and abilities. Categories up, so let's actually do something for once. The first thing people usually think of when thinking about the Hulk is super strength. And when looking at these two corn mascots from afar, it looks like there is a huge difference in terms of strength. I mean, look at this meathead. He towers over this eggplant like Dwayne Johnson does to Kevin Hart. But in terms of strength, size doesn't always mean everything. And no, that's not what she said, because if it is, then my video would be demonetized. Let's just overanalyze everything the way your nerdy self likes it. We're just gonna skim the 2003 movie to everyone's favorite part. This Hulk is most notoriously known for tearing apart and tossing away an M1 Abrams tank like an expired taco. The first part wasn't that impressive to many. I mean, don't get me wrong, tearing off the top half of the tank like that takes a real beefcake, requiring 15 tons of force. But the audience was much more wowed of how far this dude chucked that thing. There are people out there that exaggerate this feat, detailing that he threw it into the sun, or that he tossed it across several miles, but we can't trust those unsighted hyperbolic statements. Trusting those kinds of plagiarists is like jumping in the deep end of the pool when you don't even know how to swim. Gratefully, numerous amounts of authors on the Hyper Textbook webpage actually worked out the whole physics side of things behind this absurdly ripped Hercules, and calculated the distance of how far he threw the artillery. So thanks Jason Liu, Anthony...
There are 5 days of the week. Friday. Sizzle, borscht, and...
Give me your wallet and keys. Okay, but first, pick a card. Okay. Now put it back in the deck. Anywhere? Anywhere. Okay. Now check his pocket.
No.
Is that your card?
Shut up! Shut up! No! Oh my God! He's like David Blaine! He's like David Blaine!
Okay. Now give me your wrist. What did you do? Missing something? Oh! That's my wedding ring! How did you get that? Now where are your guns?
Right here, my guns are.
Whoa! This isn't my gun, this is a flower. Now hand me your beanie. Okay. What? Now give me your wallets.
Wait,
Huh? Come on, cough them up. Give them to me. Show's over. Show is over. Move it along. Move it along. You're lucky I don't charge you admission. Jeez. Wait, maybe your gun's in your beanie.
oh, man, I told you we should have robbed your mom.
Yeah, she doesn't know any magic.